Hey, all you cool, epic, awesome fans and listeners. Welcome back. You're now listening to episode 18 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. I am your co host, Matt.
I'm your other co-host, Joe.
And today, I think we're going to have a pretty short episode. We got to see Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which is setting Twitter ablaze.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, I want to say mixed, but not even. I feel like it's mostly negative feedback on it.
Yeah, for the consensus is mostly negative, I feel.
Yeah. And we watched The Last Airbender, which I recommended last week, and I know Joe
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah, well, we'll see.
And
I
yeah,
have some interesting words for that movie.
for Ong.
Yeah, and Uncle, I don't even know how they said it. Not
You know,
Iroh. but-
one of my friends when we were watching it, like he also watched the show, and he was just like saying, "Why do they keep saying all these names like this?"
Yeah,
Really weird
they say
stuff.
like Uncle, it's supposed to be Uncle Iroh, but they say like something else. It was like something ridiculous. I don't even remember what it was.
He was like Uncle Ero or something.
Yeah,
But excuse me. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that later. And then like, there's also a couple like movie things we got to talk
yeah,
about, like some trailers and things. So.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll start with the new Ant-Man. Um, so I guess a little synopsis. This movie focuses on Ant-Man's daughter, who was younger in the first two movies, and she's like an adult now. She has her own suit and stuff. She's gonna become like an ant hero, whatever. She creates this machine to send signals down to the quantum realm, and the wrong person finds the message. I think it's MODOK who saw it first, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So then they end up getting stuck down there and trapped, and they have to figure out how to escape. But the big selling point of this was like, oh, it's not like the other Ant-Man movies. It's this big like event movie that's gonna have Kang, who's the next big bad. And in my opinion, they just really missed the landing with trying to set him up as a big bad. Like, because he's supposed to be the next Thanos, and I just like don't get that vibe from him at all.
I mean, it is only. I mean, it is his first like big screen appearance. So like,
Yeah,
they're not. I mean, because like Thanos up until Infinity War, like you really didn't know. Like you just kind of like saw him. You didn't really know what he did. They didn't like establish that he was like this. I mean, you just heard he's like a bad person.
yeah, I know. I just feel like the way they handle his character, especially like towards the end, was just really weird. And like, if he gets defeated by Ant-Man, like, how
Oh
is he supposed to be this
yeah,
big
no,
threat that like the
that's
Avengers aren't going to be able to
that's
take down?
that's one of my issues with the movie is yeah, like he's supposed to be this world conquering you know, figure, and he gets defeated by literally just ants in the third act.
Yeah,
So
it's really stupid.
yeah,
Yeah, I just think
but
the story is like really rushed. I don't know. I don't think it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, and like the Wasp barely does anything in it.
he has like
It's
no character development whatsoever.
I can't even like remember a single line that she had, honestly, or like anything she did. I remember her like going down to like save Ant-Man that one time,
Yeah,
but
that's about it.
also in the broader MCU, there's also like a few things that don't really make sense with this movie. Like for example, there's like this whole thing at the beginning where Janet's like, "Oh, like I can't talk about the quantum realm. Like we're never going back down there. This and that." But meanwhile, at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Scott like goes into the quantum realm and she doesn't care, and that's how he gets stuck there the first time. Like, why wasn't she saying any of this stuff about like not
Yeah,
wanting to
no,
go down there back then? You know, I
yeah,
guess it's just like a retcon, but still didn't
yeah.
really make much sense.
You figured she would have mentioned him at least once,
Yeah,
like without talking in the quantum realm.
and also like talking about the quantum realm, like they hyped it up as this like grand, beautiful like thing. I just felt like it looked very dull in the movie. I don't know if it was just my theater.
I think it was. I don't. I think Peyton Reed is like known for having very like dull color schemes in all his movies. So
When when it first started and it was doing that, like, introduction to Kang scene, like, the opening scene of the movie, like,
yeah,
it was so
like
dark, I, like, could barely even see what was happening. I don't know if that was just my screen in my theater or, like,
I mean, I
was it.
could tell what was going on, but there were some scenes where like it was pretty dark, and like I kind of had to like focus for a second and see like what was actually going on.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, besides that, I mean, in terms of, like, technical stuff, it's just, like, normal, there's nothing. The
Yeah.
editing, some of the editing was a little weird.
How did you
Um,
feel about the CGI?
I thought the CGI was fine. I didn't think it was bad.
I thought like some moments like look great, and then other moments like look atrocious. Like I remember like the first scene where like Cassie suits up and she like shrinks and like she's running. It just looks like so ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I
You know
saw
what I'm
that on
talking about?
Twitter. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that on Twitter when she's running weird. Um, but yeah, no, I know people were shitting on the CGI. I really didn't have a problem with any of the CGI. I thought it was fine.
No, I mean like the only CGI that I had the problem with was like that stuff. But like people shitting on like MODOK, I think is stupid.
Yeah, I liked how MODOK looked.
Yeah, I thought MODOK was one of the first of all, was probably one of the better parts of the movie. And it's a giant like floating head. What do people like? It's not supposed to look good. It's supposed to look ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't
like
understand like how are you
I,
supposed to make that look like I don't know.
I mean, I saw some people were saying that like he looks a little bit too like handsome, kind of. Like he should look more like.
I know I saw they wanted them to lean more into like the body horror aspect of him, which would have been cool, yeah, but it's
Yeah,
Disney, like they're not gonna do that. They're
I
gonna
mean,
go for like an
I thought the Avengers game had like a good take on MODOK and like how he looked because
character wise, yeah, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of his look in the game.
I don't know. I think it looked better than the movie did. And I'm
No,
not like
I
did you care that they like changed MODOK's origin?
no, not
I
really,
don't.
no.
Yeah, because like I don't. I'm not like a huge MODOK fan or
He's
anything.
like yeah, like he's only known for being like a giant, ridiculous head. Like it's not like he's known for his like amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like weird because I just don't get like why they put him in the movie because like he has in the comics he has nothing to do with Kang. He has nothing to do with Ant-Man. Like why did they
No,
put
I
him in
think
this movie?
he's like an Ant-Man villain in the comics. Like he's fought
I
Ant-Man a bunch of times.
I thought he's like a Spider-Man villain,
Or
but
actually, let me look it up. I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure he's a Spider-Man villain or maybe X-Men. I don't know.
No, I thought he was like Hulk originally.
Maybe. I mean,
'Cause
regardless,
I know he has aim in like the comics.
yeah. I thought he was probably my favorite part of the movie. He's my favorite character. I would say. I think.
In the movie, yeah,
Yeah.
he's the
I
most
mean,
fun character.
yeah. And
Oh, he was
what I
originally a Captain America villain, which
either
I
way,
didn't
just
know.
like nothing
Yeah,
to do with Ant-Man.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
and it's like they had to morph his origin into like this weird thing where it's
I
actually
guess they
Yellow
saw an
Jacket.
opportunity to introduce him.
What did you think of Jeff Loveness writing this? Because he's writing Kang Dynasty also.
For
Are you
better or
like,
for
what was
Excuse
that?
me. Sorry, I know. I just want. I should have warned you. For better or for worse, he's a Rick and Morty writer.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like you can tell a lot of the humor has like similarities to Rick and Morty.
Yeah, and
Like
some of
this,
it. What?
especially that dude that was like, "Oh, how many holes do I have?" Like that like what was that guy's name? That like
Wait,
gelatin monster
Quaz or whatever the fuck
thing.
it is.
No,
Quaz, I
no,
think.
that's the name of the telepath. But like that whole crew of people looking straight out of Rick and Morty, and it was like,
Yeah,
okay. I mean, apparently the script for the movie originally was actually very good, but they like changed the ending and they changed a bunch of stuff because of like
yeah.
studio
I
interference.
saw stuff that in the original ending, like Kang and MODOK like got out, and Scott and Hope got stuck in the quantum realm, which I thought that would have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I agree because there's basically like no consequences to the movie. No one dies.
I mean,
Nothing happens. I mean, I guess
no,
we
there's
don't.
definitely massive consequences to the movie.
I mean, not at least in like the general like ant family thing. I think
Of
they should have
him,
killed off someone.
but the whole point of the movie is like he doesn't know if he was right killing him because now the Council of Kangs is gonna come after them.
Yeah, but it just kind of like it feels like it's just sort of a transition movie into like
Put
showing,
it this way,
oh,
like
this is what's like this
if
is
I
what's
was
coming, you know?
if I was talking to someone like about movies that like you need to watch like to understand the MCU going forward, like this is a movie you can't skip.
I mean, I guess we'll
If that makes
see.
sense.
We'll see. I mean, we don't really know, but yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like nothing really even happens during the movie. Like, like what was the point? I
I
guess,
guess just
I
to
guess now the Council of
It was
Kangs.
just honestly, I saw this on Twitter too. A lot of people are saying this is like a Fantastic Four movie that is just they replaced Ant-Man with the Fantastic Four
Why do you say that?
because they're known for going on like these like cosmic like adventure like shit like this. Like the plot of this movie is like something out of a Fantastic Four movie. But Kang is a Fantastic Four villain too, so it makes sense.
Yeah, because he has like his connections to Reed
To
Richards and stuff.
Yeah, because it's like isn't it like he's a descendant of Reed Richards or something?
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think they like horribly mishandled Kang, and it's nothing to do with Jonathan Major's performance. I think he was really good with what he was given, but just like the disparity like with his power set and like his power level, I never really know like what he can and can't do, you know?
I think it's just supposed to be like they kind of do a little like wand waving where like he's just always from the future, so he has like this like future tech, so they don't really have to explain it.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like they're going.
that makes sense. But you know, I wanna I'll talk about my favorite scene really quick, which was when Kang had Ant-Man and Cassie in the cells, and he was just gonna like kill Cassie if Ant-Man didn't help him steal the thing. And he had her like just up, and he was using
Yeah,
like whatever like telekinetic powers or something to like he was like he was dead as like about to kill her. And that was like him at his most menacing, and I like really enjoyed that part of him. But if you look at that character in that scene and what he was able to do, he could literally just destroy he could just destroy either one of them by like snapping
yeah.
his fingers. But then you get to the end and like he's getting overtaken by ants. Like it doesn't make any sense.
No, I know his power grading in the movie is very.
Why doesn't he
They
just
didn't.
why
No,
doesn't he
I
just use
agree.
that same, you know?
No, I 100% agree. Like
It's just like
they nerf him a
strange.
lot for just for the sake of the plot, the sake of the plot.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so obvious that like it's like how do you miss that? Like
No, I know.
how do you watch that and not realize like okay, wait, this actually doesn't make sense, you know?
I forgot to ask this when you brought up the script, but were there any lines where you felt like, where like you were like, all right, like it was too like tongue in cheek, like Rick and Morty, where I was
I mean, I guess a lot of the
like,
banter with like the what are what's the name of those people? Like that
oh,
whole
like the
group of
freedom
like
fighters or
yeah,
whatever.
the freedom fighters. I feel like a lot of their dialogue was very Rick and Morty like and very just like
Yeah,
goofy and
there's like one scene specifically that sticks out, and it's like Modoc is like on the ground, and like Cassie's like talking to him, and he's like, oh, like I forgot what it like about him changing, and she's like, don't be a dick,
I
and
didn't
he's like,
yeah, I know a
he's
lot
like,
of people on Twitter were not liking that, but
I was
sorry,
like,
go ahead.
no, no, but like essentially what is she I don't remember the exact thing that he
I
says, but it's
think
like
I think she's like she basically says like, "Oh, what happened to you?" And she's like, "Why don't you change?" He's like, "How? How do I change?" She's like, "Just don't be a dick." And he's like, "Look at me, it's too late," or something. And he's
I'm
like,
already a dick. Yeah,
"Yeah,
okay. But I just felt like it was like I don't know. It
yeah."
was
She's like,
like
"It's
it
never too
felt like it
late to
was ripped
stop
out of
being
a
a
Rick.
dick," or something.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. What did you think of Cassie in general and Catherine Newton?
I mean, I don't know. Like I didn't. I feel like they never really established her personality in any of the movies, and then she just comes up now, and I don't know if it's more her or more just like I don't know.
I don't
There's just
necessarily have
something
a
off about her
problem.
character.
I don't have a problem with the performance, really. I didn't think it was that bad. People are saying that she, like, did a terrible job with her line delivery and stuff, but I
I mean,
I
like
thought
her
she
and
was
Paul Rudd have like absolutely no chemistry.
yeah. And it's kinda like you're supposed to just I know that they recasted her from Endgame, but, like, the daughter's in Endgame for, like, not
It's
even, like, what,
no, I
30
don't mind the
seconds?
recasting.
But
I
it's just
just
like
why? Why did they recast?
but
Like,
she comes in and, like, to us, she's a completely new character, but we're supposed to believe that she has, like, this big, like, relationship and bond with Scott, but, like, it's just hard for us as the audience to kinda believe it
and
because
they don't
she
really
is
use any scenes to like establish their relationship either.
yeah.
Like, there's no like like character. You know what I mean? Like, it's like him picking her up from jail and saying, "Don't go, don't." That's really it.
Yeah, um, but I don't know, I didn't mind her. I think she was fine. I thought Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer were really good, though, both
Yeah,
of
they were
them.
fine.
Michael Douglas was funny, I thought, in a lot of his, when he would just keep, like, mentioning ants every 5 seconds, I thought that
Yeah.
was funny. He's kinda like an old who, it seems like, that's just obsessed with ants. Like, he's
Michelle
starting to get,
Pfeiffer
like
was great as well.
yeah, she was good. She had good chemistry with Kang.
Yeah.
I thought Bill Murray's character was a little bit goofy.
Apparently, he was supposed to have a bigger role in the movie. Like, he was gonna like turn on Kang and fight with the freedom fighters, like in one version of the movie, but they ended up not doing that.
Yeah, it's just, like, weird that they get this huge name like Bill Murray to agree to, like, be in their movie, and he's just, like, this
This one-off
goofy
character.
character that's,
Yeah,
like
that shows up for like 3 seconds.
it's just weird. Like, I don't know why he would be in this.
I feel like this is Marvel. This is gonna be Marvel's wake up call.
For sure, and we're seeing with the box office. It made I think at this point it's up to like 360 million worldwide. It'll at least make its money back because it had a 200 million budget, so say around like four or
Yeah,
500 million to break even. It'll hit that, but
yeah.
it's not gonna make like a huge profit.
No, it's not gonna be like 700, 600 billion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also like we saw with it when Eternals came out, it was like the first ever rotten movie on Rotten Tomatoes in the whole MCU.
Which,
And
first of all, everyone shits on Eternals. I thought Eternals was like miles better than this movie.
yeah, Eternals is way better than this movie. Honestly, Thor: Love and Thunder was way better than this movie.
Yeah.
I think at least. I know people are not gonna agree with that, but,
No, I agree with you.
um,
I mean, and I didn't even like Love and Thunder as much as you did.
yeah. Um, it's just like because once Eternals got that rotten, it's kinda like, okay, this is the outlier of the MCU, like, it's the only one that was just like they finally had one miss. But
Yeah.
now, like, within a span of, like, 2 movies or 3 movies later, there's another rotten. So then it's like, okay, this is actually a pattern, so, like, we have to, like, figure something out, and I
Even like
think
I've liked the other movies that have come out since post Endgame, but even though those there's a lot of questionable. Like, people are kind of even like I love Doctor Strange, but a lot of people didn't like it.
yeah, I don't think that necessarily, like, they should have stopped past Endgame because a lot of the movies that came out are some of my favorites, like, Shang-Chi was
Yeah, I
great,
was gonna say Shang-Chi was really good.
Wakanda Forever was
No Way
great,
Home.
No Way Home was great, um, I thought Doctor Strange was great, I know it wasn't critically received as well, but I think, like, at this point, especially starting off Phase 5 with, like, a dud, it is a little bit concerning because the MCU is usually seen as this juggernaut that, like, no matter what, people are gonna
Yeah,
go and, like, it's gonna make a ton of money and whatever,
yeah,
but I think the cracks are starting to show through a little bit with the system that they got going on.
yeah. I definitely think this is like when where it's starting to become concerning, and I just feel like I feel like of lately, like I've been more excited for like the DC stuff, like just the news in general about like the new whatever than I have for the Marvel stuff. I just feel like the last couple movies have been losing people's like
Yeah, and it's
their
just what's
interest.
I mean, because if you think about the next couple of projects that are coming out, you've got, um, Secret Invasion, The
Which is supposed to be in
Marvels,
May. The Marvels,
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's one that's probably gonna be good because it's James Gunn and, like, the
yeah.
Guardians movies are usually good, but It's
Yeah.
like not that like big blockbuster appealing stuff, really. Like it seems after this Ant-Man being terrible, not terrible, but being like mid, I feel like a lot more people are gonna be like, okay, I actually like can skip the Marvels or I can skip
Yeah.
like, Secret Invasion because like if not that Ant-Man's like the biggest character, but like if even his movie is like not that great, then someone who's like less well known, those movies are gonna get skipped over,
Yeah.
you know. And
Mhm.
I know they're like Feige just did like an interview recently where he kind of said, all right, like we're gonna start slowing shit down. We're gonna try to have only like 2 movies a year, which I think is a better option because they were running at like four a
Yeah.
year almost.
Nah, 2 to 3 a year is perfect.
And then we saw like as soon as Ant-Man came out, they released like a new poster for the Marvels, and it got delayed like 3 or 4 months just because they were
Which
like, all
is
right,
yeah,
let's
which is fine.
let's like polish this out before
They
we don't
said
want like
specifically it's like to give post-production more time.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, like what is like a few more months of waiting, especially if it's going to be that much better of a project, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think if I have any more thoughts about the movie. It was just like very mid. Like it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing, and there's just like good and bad in it, and it was just like okay. I'm just like disappointed with Kang, but apparently he's going to be showing up in a bunch more projects.
I saw something he's gonna show up in um Shang-Chi, like he's gonna uh versions of Kang will show up in Shang-Chi too. I saw that. I don't know
Yeah,
how true that is.
I'm a little bit concerned with this thing that they're doing where it's going to be like each movie is going to have like a different version of Kang. So it's kind of like going to be hard to build him up as this villain that has like this rivalry with the Avengers if like each time it's like a different one. So he
Well, the whole
basically is
point of the whole point of Kang is that like once you defeat him, there's another Kang that just comes and takes his place.
yeah, I feel like there should be one like major Kang.
Yeah, that I disagree with. I like the fact that there's multiple, like there's it's gonna be like a bunch of different Kangs in question going against the Avengers instead of just one. Like because it was just one Thanos. Like it's supposed to be like a different threat. Like it's not supposed to be because I mean, he's a different type of villain than Thanos.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely can see it working both ways, but I just feel like let's say we get to Kang Dynasty and we've seen like all these Kangs throughout movies leading up to that. And then Kang Dynasty just has a new Kang that's just introduced in that movie, and he has no build up with the Avengers and like nothing that we've seen. He's just like a completely new character.
I
We're
think there's
not.
gonna be versions of Kang that they defeat in Avengers, and there's just new ones that come and replace them.
I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know.
I mean, that's
I
how like
It
I mean,
could
I
work.
haven't
I'm
read
not.
a ton of Kang comics, but all the stuff that I've read that he's in, it's just kind of like they defeat him and like he just shows up like in another time period, like you know.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, but I don't know if you said if you had a favorite scene or not in the movie.
Probably honestly the post credit scene,
Which one? Like the
the one with the first one with the Council of Kangs.
yeah, I felt like that was a little bit goofy. I thought like
Well,
I
no,
don't know.
that scene's like rip straight, like the one of them in the Coliseum.
Yeah,
That's like straight out of the comics. And
yeah.
also, it just confirms basically that uh, I think Moon Knight is definitely going to appear in Kang Dynasty now
Why do you say that?
because so there's like three versions basically of Kang that are like extreme. It was like it's like a Mortis, which is like the dude with like the really big ass hat that's speaking.
Mhm.
The Silver Centurion, which is like another version. I forgot what his thing is, but that was the dude with like the silver suit on.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Ramatut, which is like the first Kang, who was like a ruler in Egypt. And he's actually mentioned not by name, but like he's referenced in Moon Knight. So like I feel like him being one of the major Kangs is like definitely a sign that Moon Knight's gonna show up in because he's gonna be the only one that has any knowledge of like that
Egypt or
can
whatever.
yeah, exactly. Like he's the only link
Do you think
to
that they showed those 3 Kangs, like, purposely to set them up
yeah,
as, like,
because
coming back, or do
those
you
are
think it
supposed to
was
be the like the major Kangs in the comics.
yeah. Also wait, so so I saw something in the post-credit scene, so apparently there's this other Kang that's, like he was wearing a suit,
The
and he's,
Doom
like
Kang.
no, he was wearing, like, an actual suit, like a suit
Oh,
and tie.
the Kang Enterprises, like that Kang? Like, I think
Yeah,
he bought Avengers Tower?
yeah, and I think that would make sense
I
because
like
bro,
that theory.
how long have we been waiting for them to reveal who bought that tower? I feel like it's been
Yeah.
so long, but,
Yeah. I kinda think that would be cool if, like, our universe's Kang is like like a Tony Stark type of figure. That would be pretty interesting.
yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, what is the 616 Kang?
Yeah.
It'll probably be a reveal where it's like maybe in the next Spider-Man movie where it's like they finally found out who bought Stark Tower or the
Yeah.
Avengers Tower, and then, like, it turns out to be Kang. So, like, us as the
Yeah.
audience, it's like, "Holy shit," like, it's Jonathan Majors, whatever. And speaking of Jonathan Majors, like, he's gonna have his work cut out for him to play
Yeah.
all these different roles and, like, remember how to act as each one. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
lot to keep up with. Because he, like, gave one of the Kangs in the post-credit scene had, like, an accent and shit, like, it's kind of a lot, but I feel like he
Yeah.
is invested into it, you know?
Oh, yeah, you could tell he has to be into it. He can't take a role like this and not be passionate about it. Like, he knew what he was getting into.
Mhm. Yeah, and his career is gonna blow up now,
I mean, yeah, he's
especially
got
we
this,
have
Creed 3.
Creed 3 is coming. I honestly
I
think
know
Creed 3 might outperform Ant-Man.
it's possible. It has a pretty big following,
Yeah.
and this one's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, is that we might have to talk about that next episode, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
What
but
would you rate it?
I gave I gave the movie a 2.5 star, 5 out of 10. Like I said, like, it's not terrible, it's not amazing, it's just, like, super
Oh,
mid,
man,
which is,
yeah.
like, the score is, like, right in the middle for me. And yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I gave it 2.5 as well. Just again, just it was like the most average movie. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
and
I don't
it's
have
kinda
super strong feelings about it,
yeah, it's
if
kinda
that makes
weird though
sense.
because, when I was, like, looking at my ranking of the MCU, this being a 2.5 puts it as the 2nd worst movie next to Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, which is kinda crazy to think
Yeah,
about.
it is because it just kinda shows, like, how consistent usually Marvel has been with, like, making good films, at least that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I only have 2 that are 2.5 in the MCU, which is Thor: The Dark World and this. Everything else has been for me a 3 and above. Just because I enjoy the movies, even if they're not as good. Like, The
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk, that's probably objectively not a great movie, but I still enjoyed it enough
Yeah.
to give it 3 stars, you know? So I don't know
Yeah.
if that goes to show, like, how bad this movie is or just how good the MCU has been over this period of time.
I feel like it's a mix of both.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't
But
know.
yeah,
I don't know if there's anything else you wanna say about it.
I mean, I don't really have strong feelings about the movie.
It's just disappointing.
It's just yeah, it's just disappointing in the end.
But, yeah, alright. Let's move on to some new news in the, movie industry.
Yeah.
So, this we talked about this a little bit last week because we recorded, like, on Super Bowl Sunday, so we just missed, like, a couple trailers coming out, and one of which is the trailer for The Flash, which was posted on our Instagram,
Yeah.
and it actually looks really good.
Yeah. I can understand why they're releasing this movie. Like it makes sense now. It does look very good. Apparently it's gonna have it's gonna have its first like official screening at CinemaCon in April. So that's when like you'll start to hear like the first reactions for the movie.
Yeah, and that kinda shows, like, how confident
How
they are in the
yeah.
movie. If they're willing to show it that early,
And
because that
also
means
I'm sorry.
no, sorry, but no, I was gonna say that means, like, they're confident enough that people will say good things about it that they're willing to show it to them that early.
Yeah. And with all the controversy involving Ezra Miller as well, like to be still that confident in it. Shows like obviously this movie's gonna be good.
I feel like this movie has been, like, finished for so long, you know?
Yeah, it was originally supposed to release when?
I wanna say, like, 2021, maybe even earlier.
I don't know. 2021? No, I don't feel like it wasn't that early.
I don't know, I feel like it's been a long time coming
Yeah.
because it got delayed at least a year, and
I
that
mean, it's
would
been in like it's been in like what's the term?
post-production or just,
No, like
production,
just production hell. Like
stuck in
like
limbo
they
a bit.
yeah, like they just couldn't they get a director and he'd lead the project every like couple months and like when this movie was announced, like that was when the first season of The Flash started.
Yeah,
And
now that was what?
now
That
it's
was
been
almost 10
9
years ago.
years. Yeah, yeah. And it's finally coming out now. And it's like completely different what they originally like the original idea for what the Flash movie is going to be is like completely different than what this movie is.
Yeah. What do you think about Michael Keaton?
It looks great. I thought it looked
Yeah?
great. I mean, like I don't know, it does look a little like hold on. It does look a little goofy that he he's like I don't know the suit. He's like 60 years old, but like it's also like you're supposed to buy into the campiness of it. Like this,
Yeah,
I don't know.
when they played, like, that Batman theme from Batman '89, it definitely was some nostalgic
I don't know. Yeah,
feeling. I feel like it is kinda weird because like, the more you think about this is kinda just like Spider-Man: No Way Home a little bit, where they have, like,
somewhat.
these 2 Batmen in it, and I feel like it's
Yeah.
really weird how much they're focusing on Batman in the marketing. Like,
Well, I mean that specifically is because of all the shit with Ezra Miller.
the poster itself, besides, like, the Flash who's in the center of it, like, really small, you're in the Batcave and you have, like, the huge, like, bat wing in the top, you know? It's kinda,
Yeah,
like,
but
focusing on
that's like part of
Batman.
the like them like their marketing thing is like the people are gonna see that Michael Keaton's Batman's in it and want to see it.
Yeah.
You know.
Even Sasha Calle's Supergirl looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
The only
he does.
the one weird thing is, like, I feel like what is happening in, like, that last fight scene with Zod? Like, where are they? They're in, like, this weird, like,
It looks like the desert.
desert, but there's, like, nothing around, it looks like for
It could just be
miles.
that they're not done with the CGI yet.
Maybe, but I don't know, it's just, like, really weird. Uh, but that's, like, a nitpick kind of. Um,
Yeah.
s the fact that Michael Shannon's coming back, that was pretty cool. I'm a little bit surprised, like, how much they're leaning into, like, the Snyderverse stuff with it. You're getting Ben
Yeah.
Affleck back as Batman, you're getting General Zod. The Supergirl suit looks the same as Henry Cavill's.
It's supposed to
Um,
take place in that world.
yeah. But, do you think they're gonna keep Ezra Miller around, or
No. They're just
even
saying
if
all this stuff because
what if the movie does really well and,
I
like
still think he's like beyond repair in terms of like being accepted back into the you know,
I
what's
feel
the
like
word?
James Gunn might have a soft spot for him, though, because he himself was canceled at one
Yeah,
point.
for making like raunchy jokes, not like kidnapping a family.
That is
It's
true.
different, you know.
Like, if they gave a fuck if they gave that much of a fuck, they just wouldn't release the movie, but clearly they don't. So if
No.
he's
I
making
mean,
them
but you gotta
money, then
understand too, like to not release the movie, it's not just him. There's like you know, thousands of people involved in that movie. Just
Mhm,
because I mean, I know he's obviously a major portion of the movie, but to not release it, you know, would be kind of almost point like they already invested all this money in the movie, they might as well release it. And if it's good
yeah,
too, they definitely should.
yeah. Trying to think if anything else stuck out in the trailer. Um,
I feel like a lot of people that like don't know comics like this trailer. Like I had a lot of friends like text me about this movie and like
what
asked me what it is. 'Cause they
oh,
like they
you
saw the
think
trailer and like thought it looked good.
yeah, I mean, it does loo aside from all, like, the comic booky and, like, nerdy stuff, it does genuinely look pretty good.
Yeah, no, it does.
I don't know. I mean, well, I guess we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
how well Keaton does. But I'm glad that they're going with a new Batman
yeah, so am I.
because Keaton being the main Batman would just be kind of stupid because he's like 70.
Yeah, and it wouldn't really make any sense for if they're gonna make movies. Excuse me, I'm sorry. If they're gonna make movies for the next like 10, 20 years, like Keaton's 60 right now.
He's got to be older than 60, bro.
In his 60s, the later.
Let me see.
Like, there's no way he's gonna be able to do movies. Probably about 64, I guess.
Dude, I think he's in his 70s, bro. He's 71.
And
Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's actually insane. Damn, Jack Nicholson is 85. Holy shit.
yeah, dude. Have you seen him? What he looks like now?
I feel like I have. Let me see. What's the last movie he's even been in?
He doesn't. I think he's retired.
Maybe his last movie was The Departed. Let's see. This is off topic, but I'm just curious. Um, The Departed's one of them. But yeah, that's crazy. I was thinking like maybe they could get him back as the Joker for like a cameo in this movie. But
Nah,
as
dude. He's
an
like,
85-year-old Joker would be kind of crazy.
like you have to see what he looks like too, though. He couldn't. He wouldn't be able to come back.
Yeah. But yeah, The Flash surprisingly looks good. And
Yeah,
like if I'm telling you right now, if this movie does well critically and commercially, Ezra Miller is sticking around.
I don't agree at all.
I think he is. I'm marking it right now. But yeah, that's enough for The Flash, I guess. We also got they had a Guardians of the Galaxy 3
Yeah,
trailer for the Super Bowl.
which honestly looks more of a that trailer was more had like a more emotional weight than any of the things MCU's put out in the last like year.
Maybe Black Panther.
Maybe, but yeah, okay, Black Panther. That's fair. But still,
Still, like some crazy shit's gonna happen. At
yeah.
least one Guardian is dying.
I mean,
And
Batista's like obviously gonna die. He's been saying it. He's done. Like, I feel like that's like the writings on the wall. And
yeah, I mean
probably like Rocket
be honest,
Raccoon too. I feel like he's gonna die.
I don't know. I feel like that might be a misdirect. I low key think they might kill Star Lord.
It's possible.
I don't know.
I don't really
Do
think
you
anyone's
think the
safe.
Guardians are gonna be in Kang Dynasty or what's
Whatever's
left of
left
them?
of yeah, like because apparently this is like the last like on screen of like this iteration of the Guardians.
Yeah, and I'm surprised with like how the willingness Marvel has to like make fourth movies because apparently they were talking about doing Ant-Man 4. Like
Yeah, I
they're having
mean,
internal discussions. So maybe they are gonna do a Guardians 4 with like a new team and a
they'll
new
probably
director.
will. I won't be. I probably won't. It won't be called Guardians. It'll probably be called something else. But like, I don't think they're done with these characters. At least not all of them.
Well, they still kind of have a lot of story to tell for some of them. Like I guess we'll see in this movie, but Star Lord is gonna have to like win back Gamora
Well,
because this
yeah, I feel like
Gamora
it's
is
gonna be a
the
plot
new
movie.
one.
Yeah,
But yeah, what do you think about Adam Warlock's look? Because he also appeared more in this trailer.
I think he looks fine. I mean, I didn't really see anybody like complaining about why people were like tight
Nah,
about it.
I don't love his look, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it is kind of hard to pull off because like if you look at what he looks like in the comics,
yeah.
like here, wait, let me just pull up a picture really quick. His suit is just like okay, but like in the comics, his skin is kind of like orange. And like when they try to do it in live action, it does look a little weird. I think they should have just like kept his skin as white because there are
Yeah.
like versions of Adam Warlock in the comics that have white skin. Also,
Like
what
they
is
should have.
what is in his head? Because in the comics, that's like one of the Infinity Stones.
They're probably just gonna say it's like a fucking like a power like something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't have any problems with Will Poulter himself. I think he'll do fine,
Yeah.
but his look is all right. He's supposed to be like this insanely like godlike perfect
character. Yeah.
man, but I just like don't get that vibe from seeing him so far in the trailers.
Well, they said he's supposed to be very like on the note, like it's supposed to be like he was born yesterday because he's like new with interacting with people and stuff.
Yeah. So what do you think is the deal with him? Because so who's the main villain again? I forget his name.
Um, the evolutionary, I think.
Yeah, yeah, High Evolutionary or whatever.
Yeah,
So he doesn't have a connection to Adam Warlock, I think, right? It's that lady from Guardians 2, that gold lady. She's the one who's gonna send him after the Guardians. At least that's what the post-credit scene made it seem like. So where is he gonna fall into this plot, like with the High
I think
Evolutionary
like
thing?
in the comics, they actually there's like I saw some online that him and Adam Warlock make a deal that like he will he I forgot what it was. Something with the Guardians. He makes a deal with them. With I mean, Adam Warlock makes a deal with the High Evolutionary to fight the Guardians, like in the comics or something like that. So I think they're gonna base it off of that.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious that he's gonna end up becoming good by the end.
Yeah, no, I'm sure by the end of the movie he'll
And he'll
probably be on
probably
this new iteration of the team.
Yeah, and I wonder how big of a player he's gonna be in like the MCU moving forward. Because he is like
Yeah,
super
he's a pretty big
important.
actor.
He's important to the comics, the
Yeah,
character.
and
But
I
I
feel
feel
like they
like
wouldn't have cast like an actor like this for like a one-off.
yeah. I also feel like at this point, like the Guardians and the Avengers are kind of like so separate that like it's gonna be hard to like integrate them into an Avengers
Yeah,
film. But also like if you think about like Guardians 1 and 2 and then like the movies leading up to Infinity War where they first interact with the Avengers, there's not like any ties at all and they still made it work.
yeah, no,
So,
I'm sure they'll figure it out.
yeah. But I like how you can see it especially like just in the trailer, you can see that this movie's going to have stakes. Like and I feel like
Yeah,
the movies I like most in the MCU are the ones that have stakes and like people like characters die and there's consequences to the actions of the characters.
exactly. Yes,
Like Spider-Man, like No Way Home, for example, because of Peter being stupid, he ends up getting Aunt May killed, and that like is a huge, impactful moment on his character,
I
and that
agree.
like
Yeah.
progresses his story forward. Like Ant-Man has nothing like that. Like no one learns anything in the movie. I guess Scott learns that he has to like not
I
be
feel
in
like there's
hiding
no.
anymore and has to be willing to like defend the Earth or whatever. But no one really learns anything in the movie.
Yeah, I feel like
So
there's no like character development.
not much, at least. But yeah, Guardian, it looks good. And I was never really like a fan of the Guardians movies in general. I kind of thought they were a bit overrated. But
I like
I
them.
haven't seen Guardians 1 in a while.
Yeah, I was actually
S-
thinking about rewatching all like. I mean, when it gets closer, obviously, I'll start rewatching.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that was
Yeah.
really there wasn't a lot of trailers in the past 2 weeks.
No,
Those were basically the two big ones. I'm trying to think. Maybe 65 trailer,
yeah, that movie
but
pissed me off so much.
it looks good though. I want to see it.
They're fucking idiots.
I like Adam Driver though, so
Nah, I'm sure it'll be like fine, but I just don't understand why they revealed like the biggest thing about the movie in the first like
yeah, no, that
minute of
is
the
stupid.
trailer.
I guess just to like get people in seats
Yeah,
with the concept. But um yeah. I also wanted to talk about there's been some shit going on Twitter. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently somehow the killers for Scream 6, like the footage of them getting revealed as the killers was leaked online.
oh, I heard
So
about that. I didn't see it, but I heard
I didn't
about
see
that.
it either, but that's like that's a huge deal. Like how is that even possible?
I have no idea. Probably screened internally and someone recorded it. So it's out. Is it available online?
Yeah, you could find it on Twitter if you want. I haven't seen it because I'm the type that like if I know a spoiler's out there, I'm so tempted to look, especially with
Mm,
like Marvel
yeah.
shit. But I wanna like I know I'm gonna enjoy the movie less if I if I like know who the killers are.
Yeah, there's no like point in watching it then.
Yeah. But some people the thing that was going around on Twitter is like some people think that the person who leaked it should face like legal consequences.
Because
And
you sign an NDA.
I kinda agree. Like
You
even
can be
if
held legally liable
even if there's
for it.
there's like one person that sees that leak and then like, okay, now I'm not going to see the movie. That's just like
Yeah,
money out of the studio's pocket, you know? It affects the careers of the actors, it
yeah.
affects the studio.
No, I agree.
Just like why would you do that? I know there's like
People people are
people that
stupid.
I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah,
But yeah, so if you don't want to be spoiled, don't look up Scream on Twitter.
yeah.
Is Scream in our next video? Next podcast?
Mm,
It's March 10th, I think.
yeah, because Creed 3 is March 3rd. And then yeah, Scream and 65 come out next week. In 2 weeks, I'm sorry.
And so okay, that might be a four movie. We might have to not talk about one of them. Maybe not
Yeah,
65. Um, but yeah. Anyways, that was like the Scream controversy that was
yeah.
coming out. Another a big casting news though back to the MCU was that Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead, among other things, was cast in the Thunderbolts, and his role is said to be like integral to the MCU moving forward.
They say that about
So
every character, though.
yeah, what do you have any ideas on who he might play?
I mean, the only thing I really could think of is Sentry, but like everything else, I saw stuff like there's this other like version of Hulk in the comics that's Asian, but like he's like 20 in the comics, so like people were saying him, but that wouldn't really make any sense.
I mean, they could. That honestly makes more sense to me than him being Sentry. I don't really see him as like a Sentry. That Sentry's another one that's like a godlike, like jacked, like handsome ass person, like a
But he's
supermodel
supposed to be
looking.
like a he's supposed to have like split personalities.
Does he?
Yeah, that's like the whole thing is like him and like the Void. That's like the evil version of him.
I thought Adam Warlock was the one who had split personalities.
No, no.
Isn't there an evil version of Adam Warlock?
Well, he was like bad when he originally was like first introduced, and then he turns good.
No, but there's like an evil version of him called like Magus or something.
Well, I'm sure, probably.
But yeah. Anyways, um, I think it honestly makes more sense for him to be like I think the character's called Amadeus Cho.
Mhm.
For him to be Amadeus Cho, who's just like I forget what that is called in the comics, like totally awesome Hulk or something like that. Cool, epic, awesome Hulk. Um, it makes more sense for him to be that character. I know it's older than in the comics, but like the MCU changes shit like that all the time, and especially since like how Hulk centric like that corner of the MCU is with like
Yeah,
Captain America and New World Order. Apparently, he's gonna have like a bunch of Hulk stuff. Um, and we're getting the Red Hulk finally, so it would make sense maybe for him to be a Hulk type figure.
I just I don't know. I can't. I don't. I feel like it's not the Hulk.
I don't know. Either way, I'm just hyped that he's joining the MCU because he's a great actor, and I personally love him because I like love The Walking Dead when I was younger. So before he got like his head bashed in by
Yeah.
Negan.
He
Yeah,
also
we'll
plays.
see. We'll
He
see.
also plays Invincible.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And he's in
Yeah.
Nope,
Nope.
which
Yeah.
yeah, he was really good in Nope. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it seems like I always be saying this, but like every actor eventually just gets cast in the
Yeah.
MCU. It's like inevitable.
It's like Hollywood jury duty.
Yeah, even Bill Murray. Even Bill Murray. What would it take for Martin Scorsese to direct a movie?
A lot. I don't think he ever would.
Nah, he wouldn't. Apparently, Spielberg wanted to do like a DC project.
Yeah, it was
Forgot what it
like
was.
the it was like some it was like about World War II pilots. Forgot what it was
Yeah,
called.
it's not really superhero esque though.
No, it's like a DC like labeled comic.
Yeah, because you don't see. I mean, a lot of times you don't see like these big name actors or. Usually,
Yeah,
what the MCU does is like they'll take a lesser known actor and make them big, which is like what you're
yeah.
seeing with Jonathan Majors. But apparently, I mean, Ryan Gosling, his name has been brought up a bunch in like future MCU stuff. He's really big, and he doesn't usually do shit like that. Um, Someone else too. We were talking about Adam Driver. His name's been brought up. I know he's
Yeah,
done Star Wars, but that was like before his career sort
really
of.
blew up. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I just I love to see like any actor that I like fuck with just join the
joining
MCU.
the
So
MCU. Yeah.
yeah, very interesting. No, the last really like movie news thing, and then after we finish this up, you could maybe talk about Cocaine Bear a little bit because I didn't get to see it. But is that apparently Aquaman, just Aquaman 2 had test screenings and they were like terrible to the point where apparently people walked out of the
Yeah.
test screening, which is like completely unheard of.
I don't know how true. Like, I mean, I heard that the screenings were bad, but I don't know how true it is that somebody walked out. I don't think you're probably not allowed to do that. I feel like, and when you sign like the NDA and shit, you probably have to stay for the movie.
I mean, maybe, but
Like, I don't know. I just
well,
feel like that's not.
I
That's like
forget
the
who
part I believe the least about it.
like those leakers on Twitter. It's like my time to shine, hello, and then like,
Yeah.
can we get some toast or something?
Hmm.
And like Ember, and I forget who said it, but one of them said, "Oh, like something happened that never usually happens before." And then the other one replied and said, "Someone walked out." So it's like two people
Yeah, that's
corroborating on
true.
the
Yeah.
story. Either way, and then I saw some other report that like because of how bad the movie is, like Momoa's done as Aquaman. He's like quitting, but I don't know.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
And then some people were saying there was that people who saw it said it's the worst DCEU movie ever. But like, how is that
I
possible
just
when you have
yeah.
shit
I
like the
just
Suicide
Suicide
Squad that
Squad. Yeah, and
exists?
it's still James Gunn directing. Not James Gunn. James Wan.
Yeah, I think Juan is okay. I mean, I didn't love the first Aquaman. I thought it was all right.
I think it's fun.
It was fun. Yeah, I like Momoa, and it made over 1 billion. So
Yeah.
the audiences enjoyed it, you know.
Oh yeah.
But just like more weird times for DC.
Yeah.
I feel like until what's like the last movie? Is it Aquaman or The Flash? That's like the last movie that's in this old DC.
Well, apparently the Flash, but I don't know that I don't know like what they're saying now is going to be true because until everything releases, they're not going to reveal it because they're going to want you to go and see the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, also I just want to throw out there Shazam 2 box office predictions are like not good at all.
Yeah, well,
Like
they put no marketing into the movie at all.
worse than the first two. I think that movie's going to be bad, honestly.
I don't know if it's going to be bad. It's just there's no. I feel like they just kind of focus. They're going to focus all their marketing on the Flash.
But I just think like from the trailers that movie does not look good.
I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks like fine.
We'll see. Yeah, no, but what I was going to say is like until the Flash releases and is done with, we're not going to know for sure what the fuck
Oh
is
yeah,
happening.
no, no way.
Like we have an idea,
Yeah,
but at least we were getting the Waller TV show, which is really exciting.
I mean, I'm excited for that. But I also really liked Peacemaker, so it's you know.
Yeah. So wait, you were saying like that you think after the Flash, like then they're gonna actually recast everyone.
Yeah.
Th- But what does that mean for shit like Waller and like Peacemaker? Because they're not gonna
No, I'm
recast
seeing.
those.
Well, they just probably won't use those characters.
But they're making a Waller show.
No, but that's still. I feel like that's still set in like that's gonna wrap up like whatever. Well, actually, I don't know. Honestly, like I don't like if that's in the DCU or not. Like I don't care either or. Like I like the characters, so like it's kind of on its own enough where like it doesn't really matter. Like if you watch a
Mm.
show, it's like very like there's like one scene at the end, but it's that makes it a little connected to stuff, but like it's not like that big of a deal. That's like set in like the newer DCU.
I just think it's gonna be weird because like we've seen Waller like interact with the DCU Bruce Wayne, like the Ben Affleck, and then what is she gonna do? Just interact with like this new Batman and just like not say anything?
I mean,
Like,
you could like J. Jonah Jameson too. He was
yeah,
I feel like with certain like Waller, I think is probably the best casting in the DCU.
Yeah, I feel like their casting is okay. It's not Momoa was good casting. I thought Henry Cavill was good. Gal Gadot, not so much. But
But Ben Affleck like was good on like
mhm.
on paper was good casting. Actually, didn't work out.
Jared Leto, bad casting.
Yeah,
Nah, their best casting might be Margot as Harley Quinn.
yeah, that's true. I wonder if she's coming back. It probably, I'm assuming.
I feel like probably, yeah. And I think she kind of what's it called? She like enjoys it, you know.
Yeah, no,
So, but
but yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's really it for the movie news. There wasn't much shit
I
that
mean,
really happened.
there's one thing we didn't really talk about.
What?
It kind of got revealed that multiple sources saying Spider-Man is going to be not the leader but the lead in Kang Dynasty. So like the movie's going to be like from his perspective. I don't know about from his perspective, but he'll be like the main focus of the movie, which I think is awesome. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, yeah, no, I love Spider-Man. I just think it is going to be a little weird with the whole no one knows his identity anymore. So they're going to have to like just figure out how to.
Well, they know Spider-Man. They just don't know who he is.
Yeah, but I mean, in order for him to like be part of this
Oh
Avengers
no,
team,
I'm
he's
sure
gonna.
he's gonna have to. They'll re-explain everything, or they'll
Mhm.
address it in Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, and I've seen I watched like one of Grace Randolph's videos. I know you don't really like her, but she
Yeah,
was talking about what she heard was that when like Destin Daniel Cretton like signed on to do the movie, there was like a couple characters that he said he definitely wanted, and it was Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, Hulk, Spider-Man, and Moon Knight.
really
And that's what she said. And then she heard that Feige really wants Daredevil to be in the movie and be up there with the Avengers.
weird.
So this is all could change, obviously.
Yeah,
But if
I heard that Daniel Craig's favorite character was Spider-Man, and Jeff Love, whatever his name, Love,
Mhm.
what's his
No,
name?
Jeff
Loveness.
Loveness,
His favorite character is Spider-Man as well, which
yeah,
honestly gets me a little more excited for this movie because I feel like, yeah,
yeah,
like if they're big fans of the character, that's usually a good sign.
yeah, and
Like I'm sure
Spider-Man just
their
Spider
input
Spider-Man
was
prints money. So
yeah, exactly. Like that's why he's the lead is because they know it's gonna help
yeah,
boost the
and I know
profit.
some people were saying like, oh, he's gonna be the leader, but that's not true. That doesn't make
No,
any
they didn't.
sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Like him, he's like the youngest character. Him being the leader of the team makes no sense. It's probably gonna
Yeah,
be Sam Wilson.
or Doctor Strange or like Captain Marvel.
I don't even know if Doctor Strange is gonna be in the movie.
No, he'll
Honestly,
definitely be in it.
I mean, I don't
Him
know
and
if he's
Clea
gonna.
will definitely be in it.
We'll see. I feel like they're more of a Secret Wars kind of thing. Because
So,
think about it, like each movie, each Avengers movie, besides the first, has like really like 10 to 12 like major characters that they focus on.
yeah,
So there are gonna be a couple that you would think should be in it that
they
probably.
said the movies are like it's gonna be similar to Infinity War, where like people are broken up in teams.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Well, I feel like just because of the name, people are gonna go see the movie anyway. But Spider-Man being a lead will definitely help, and I'm like hyped for that because I want him to be a focal
yeah. I
point.
want to. That's gonna be sick seeing Spider-Man and Kang interact on like in a movie. That's gonna be sick.
And hopefully they could get him the symbiote by Secret Wars.
I think he'll get it in Secret Wars because that's
It's
how he originally gets it in the comics.
I think they want to do like 9 movies with Spider-Man.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's just Prince money,
Like the first 3 were high school, the second 3 will be like his college life, and the
and then
third
none
3
will
is
just be
him
him
and
as an adult.
as an adult.
Yeah,
But
but yeah,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
see.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
much.
yeah, we'll see. It's always interesting to like and fun to sort of like think about what those rosters are gonna look like for those
Yeah,
like team up movies, you know?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
But
I kind of hope they use Daredevil too, but we'll see.
yeah, yeah. Well, I just feel like it has to make sense. Like, I mean, I don't know, like we still don't really know Kang's motives or like why he's doing what he does. So like it's hard to really understand like what his plan's gonna be or like how it's gonna look. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Dustin Daniel Cretton said like he wants She-Hulk. So if he wants She-Hulk, they could easily be like, "Oh, I know someone who might be able to help us," because she interacted with Daredevil already. So she could
Yeah,
be the
but like,
one
what
that.
is Kang? You know what I mean? Like, what is Kang? What is Daredevil gonna bring to the table that like, you know what I mean?
I mean, as much as Sam Wilson is, well, he doesn't have any
No,
powers
I
either.
know, I know,
So
but
yeah,
I'm just saying because
I see what you're saying though.
he's like a street level. Like at least Sam Wilson's like he's like a major like superhero. Like Daredevil's supposed to be like a street level character. Which I would be sick for him to show up. I just don't. I don't know like how. I don't want to just randomly show up. Like I want it to make sense in the story.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they could figure it out.
Like that's why like Moon Knight I feel like is 100% like a shoehorn to be in because of the Ramatot. Like that just makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be funny, I guess, to see like Moon Knight interact with like the Avengers and have his
Like they
split
have to do a Moon
personality.
Knight season 2 for him to be in the Avengers because like the way they left off season 1 like he's still like he can't be interacting with the Avengers like he doesn't
Yeah.
he's like you know what I mean?
So where does like Blade and like Werewolf by Night fit into all this? Do you think they're gonna be in Secret Wars?
I have no idea.
Like,
I
where's the
mean,
character like Werewolf by Night fit into this shit? Like,
I don't know. I mean he's more of like in his own corner of things like with I mean maybe with Man Thing he'll show cuz I know Man Thing's like a he's like a way bigger character than people think, right?
mhm,
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see.
yeah. So yeah, I guess before we get to Last Airbender, do you want to talk about Cocaine Bear? Because I know you saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it, but you loved it. So
Yeah, I really, really liked Concave Bear. It was the best movie to come out this year by far. It's just like it feels like an 80s like almost like horror. Like the way the bear is shot, it's shot like it's a monster movie. Like the bear is the monster. But like it's also really funny and all the jokes land. In my most of the jokes land in my opinion. There's really good like creative kills from the bear and just like I don't know, I really, really enjoyed the movie. Way more
was
than
there
I would have thought.
was there a lot of like gore and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. You could tell most of the budget was spent on the bear.
Yeah,
And
I know. In the trailers, the CG looked pretty good.
yeah, no, the CG is great. The whole movie it looks great. Um but obviously the bear is not on screen all the time. That was the only my only complaint with the movie is that like towards the beginning like it's not like there's like a half hour period where it's kind of boring because like there's like a lot of characters in the movie, so they kind of have to set up everything first.
Mhm.
So like during that period, it's a little boring, but like once when the bear pulls up, like then it gets really really good.
Yeah, and I know. I think didn't it like outperform Ant-Man on one of the days or something?
Probably it made like 20. I think it made like 20 million.
I think for the weekend, Ant-Man outperformed it, but for like the Friday,
Yeah,
that
my
movie.
theater was packed when I went on Friday.
So yeah, it's pretty wild because usually MCU movies, at least for like the first 3 to 4
3 weeks, yeah,
weekends, they're always number one.
yeah,
So that's also another alarming thing. But yeah, no, I do want to see it. I just like I don't know. It's kind of hard to like get out to a theater by me because I don't have a car, so I have to like
yeah.
pay for an Uber along with my ticket, and like I'm only gonna save that for movies like I really want to
I
see,
want to
you
see it
know.
now. Yeah,
But I'm sure this seems like the type of movie that will be on like VOD within like a month.
yeah. They already released. They said March 13th is gonna come out.
Yeah, so I'll catch it when it's streaming.
I do recommend going in a theater though.
We'll see, we'll see. Um,
In my opinion, I just feel like it adds to the experience more.
there's like a lot of shit because I'm gonna have to go to see Creed 3, and then the
Yeah,
following week I'm gonna have to go to see Scream and maybe 65. So
yeah.
yeah, all right. I know. Elizabeth Banks was talking about she would be interested in doing
The
Cocaine
Cocaine
Shark.
Shark, I saw that too.
And if this movie does well, I don't see why
I'm sure.
not.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't do that. I kind of
I'm
want
sh-
them to now after
I'm sure
watching
she
this.
can get like a bunch of celebrities to cameo and stuff, and it could basically just be like Jaws, but with like cocaine.
That's what it will be. I kind of like this. Like, I would love to watch her do other projects. Like, I thought there was a lot of like really good creative shots in this movie and really good scenes too. A specific, there's an ambulance scene. I mean, you see some of it in the trailer. That's fantastic. Like the last like 20 minutes of the movie.
Chase scene or whatever,
What?
like the chase scene that they have or whatever.
Yeah. The gore. You don't like the trailers don't do it justice. Like the gore in the movie, because I mean, obviously they hide most of it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was really, really good. Way better than I would have expected.
Yeah. All right. Good. Good. We always love to see some surprise hits come out.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of great movies, we should move on to our last movie, which I recommended just to like mess with you a little bit,
Yeah.
which um which is the movie The Last Airbender, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And it's based on, I guess,
I wouldn't even say based because it's not like
well, we'll
very
say loose
extremely loosely based
on the show
uh
Avatar: The Last
Avatar:
Airbender.
Last Airbender.
And I guess when it says like book one, water, like is that like the first season or
Yeah,
something?
so each book it's water, earth, fire, and then I mean he knows air already, so it's like air is like the last. Um but I'm sorry, what was it? I think it's 3 seasons. I haven't watched it in a while, but yeah, so each season is a different element. The first one's obviously water. Um, I know they say in the movie like, oh, like it needs to be in this order, but that's completely made up, and I don't know why. Like, there's actually a point in season one where Aang, and now I'm saying Aang like the movie, Aang tries to learn fire, and he ends up like hurting Katara, and it's actually a really good episode. It just explains like the danger of fire and stuff like that. But like they just completely, they don't even show that scene in the movie at all. They just completely, disregard it. But yeah, so that I don't know why they said that. There's no order to the elements. It just happened that like he found the water tribe.
So was it as bad as you expected?
Um, in terms of the movie, no, but like in terms of like it's how badly it like doesn't do justice to the source material is like worse than expected.
So I feel like it's gonna be interesting because I never watched the anime, so like I'm kind of an unbiased opinion
Even you
of it.
could like tell this is a bad movie.
Yeah, I mean the first
Yeah,
thing I noticed, the movie starts. First of all, everyone's whitewashed. The
yeah.
entire like water tribe, they're supposed to
It's
be like
they're based off like Inuit people.
yeah, they're supposed to be like Eskimos, and everyone's white.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
I Aang is white, or they call him Ong. He's supposed to be like
The
Asian.
Fire Nation's what? It's so, and then
No, the Fire Nation is all like Indian or something. They made like all those characters brown, and they're supposed to be Asian also.
like Fire Lord Ozai is like completely like in this movie they kind of make him like look like a Caesar type of figure. I don't know why, like with his outfits and stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
in the show he's like way more menacing and like he's actually voiced by Mark Hamill in the show.
Oh, really?
And he's like, yeah, he's supposed to be like a really big like villain. But he's like intimidating in the show. He's not like just some random dude.
Yeah. But no, the first thing that I really noticed is first of all, that first scene, like just it looks terrible. Like
And it doesn't make any sense.
the sets just
Why?
look awful.
But
I
like
don't
what that I watched that and I was like, why would they like why would like what did he think was gonna happen? They're standing on ice and he smacks the ground with the boomerang. Like
yeah, and then
what
like
like
why does the girl feel a need to like smash
oh just
open
yeah,
the
exactly.
honestly though, I will say that the what's his like flying thing called again?
Oh,
Avatar's like creature.
Appa.
Yeah, that thing actually didn't look bad,
It
honestly.
look I didn't like the look. It looks different than the animated one. Like complete
Like the CG creatures, also that other flying thing that pulls up on him. That
Momo,
thing, yeah, that thing didn't look too bad either.
like a little like lemur thingy.
Yeah. The story is well. Also, Aang, whoever plays Aang, he's awful. Him
Yeah.
and Katara, both really bad performances. And like, I feel bad because they're kids, but
Sokka's
like,
but what is it
it
sucks
bec-
too. They're all bad.
it was almost like unwatchable. The only actor that was good was Dev Patel, and he's the only one out of any of them that actually made a
Yeah.
career after this. So
And his one is, I mean, his performance is like okay, but it's just the best one out of all of them.
yeah, and a lot of it's due to the writing. Like a lot of shit just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Does like when they pull up to the Earth people, does Aang actually be like acting like that in the show where he's like, "Come on,
No, that
guys, like
scene
you
doesn't
have to."
happen. That's not a scene. That
He's
doesn't
like
happen.
where he like gives this motivational speech to all these
No.
people.
And like when he was captured and shit, like Aang in the show is like an 11-year-old kid. So like he's not supposed to be serious. Like when they capture him, remember like they're intimidating him and he's like acting all serious. Like in the show, he's like goofing off. He's like joking because he's 10. He's supposed to be like a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I have nothing to base him off of. So just like seeing him as a character in general, he was like just goofy. He was I don't know. His lines were so corny and just the
Yeah, I
delivery
didn't.
was
Yeah.
terrible. But you could tell they wanted to like make something more with this like universe because they left it sort of open ended at the end where the
Well, yeah. So
Fire
they're
Lord
yeah,
like tells the daughter to.
his daughter. So I don't know if you know, like, so Zuko is the Fire Lord's son,
Mhm.
but they don't explain. He like I forgot something happened, and
They
he
said he
get
got banished, but they didn't say
yeah.
like why.
I forgot what happened, like why it happened. Oh, it's something to do with his mom and shit. Like there's a whole like other story that like they don't even explain any of that. So they're like there's another backstory with Zuko and his mom. Like his mom is like missing and shit. Like his dad's obviously really shady, and then so his dad he gets challenged to an Agni Kai by his father, and he obviously loses, and that's where he gets his scar from. You can't really see
Yeah.
it in the. It's like you kind of see it in the movie, but not
Yeah, but
really.
no, they had a flashback scene in the movie where they showed him getting the burn.
Why don't I remember that?
Yeah, I remember they showed that.
But
I'm assuming he like becomes good in the show, right?
yeah, yeah,
Or like
like
becomes friendly with Aang or whatever.
yeah, you'll see. Like he starts to realize like that, like what the Fire Nation's done and stuff. Like it is a really good story. It's
Mhm.
so poorly executed in the movie. But
I
this
didn't
should have
think.
never been a movie. It should be a TV show if they ever did like there's so much plot that they have to cover.
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna
they
say a lot of
missed
it's
so
like
much. They missed a lot of it from season one. Like you
a
obviously
lot
get the
of
major plot points, but like
a lot of it's really rushed. Like
yeah,
especially the relationship between Katara's brother and like that princess. They know each other for like 10 minutes and then they're like in love with each other
yeah.
somehow.
So that like takes course over the like 5 6 episodes like them. So like it's in the show it's different. They have time to like establish a relationship.
Yeah. I will say though, I didn't think that the bending looked bad. I thought like the water and earth and fire bending
No,
looked like
I thought the
okay.
earthbending looked atrocious, and like it doesn't look like that in the like you know how like they act like they need fire like around them to make fire.
Well, they make a big point out of someone was able to like make fire without having fire around them. I think it was Uncle
Yeah, so in the show
Iroh.
everybody can make fire. Like the firebenders, they don't need fire around them to make fire.
So I guess they switched it up for the
They
movie.
just make it yeah for like no. There's just so much shit they changed for the show from the show for like no reason whatsoever.
I guess they were maybe trying to make it like more realistic, which already like doesn't make sense because it's not realistic in
So
general.
what's interesting about this is so when M Night Shyamalan made this movie, Disney not Disney, Nickelodeon just basically gave him complete like creative control of like whatever he wanted, and the original like show creators didn't really have much involvement in the movie, if you could tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I can't tell because I never watched the show,
yeah,
but
but it's blaringly obvious if you watch the original show. Um, so yeah, he basically got complete like control of the story of like what happened. So it's essentially all on him. Why this movie's so bad?
yeah, and he has like hits and misses. It is kind of crazy because this is seen as like one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that is
is part of the
because
fact
of
that the show is so good,
yeah, and there's a lot of Avatar like fanboys that were going into this expecting like something amazing, and it was
and
just.
it was a good director too. So people,
Mhm. But do you think like anime could work in live action? Because it's so far it hasn't ever.
I
I
mean,
can't
we'll
think of.
find out with. I mean, I wouldn't consider this anime.
No, I'm saying like oh, but I mean, yeah, I guess not because it is very like Americanized.
It's loosely like it's based off of anime. There's anime style in the movie, in like the show, but it's I wouldn't like it's not anime. But I mean, we're gonna see it now. I mean, we have this coming out. They have the One Piece live action show, which I'm cautiously optimistic about. We'll see how that goes. I mean, they tried doing Death Note, the movie that I don't know if you've seen that, but that's like
I've
was
seen it. Yeah,
horrible.
I thought it was
Um,
okay.
Apparently the Duffy brothers are working on a Death Note TV show. It is a good concept for like like it's not hard to make like because they have the material. Like the stories are good. They know they work. They have that added bonus that like the story they know the stories work because it's popular. So there's no like concern about that. It's just like actually executing
I just feel
the
like the
show and
style
like
is so hard to pull
yeah,
off
it's very hard to
because no matter what, it's gonna seem like dull compared to what they can do.
The closest thing I've seen to a good live action anime, and it's not even an anime or based off anime. It's actually Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I think like that style of like you know what I mean. Like it's very
Yeah,
cartoonish and animated in its directorial style. Like that's how I think a live action anime should be.
yeah, and I don't know. I feel like they try to make shit like too grounded sometimes. They're afraid to
Problem
like go
is
out
like
there.
yeah they want to like cater to like an American audience, but the problem is these stories are meant for a specific. It's meant to be these stories are meant to be animated. At the end of the day, like
Yeah,
animation is a medium. It's a way of like like
yeah,
expressing media and like stuff like that. So it's these productions are designed to be animated to help express like the imaging and like stuff like that. Like certain things you can't do in live action. So you're already
yeah.
disrespecting the source material by doing that, and then also not having it in Japanese is also technically you're not respecting the source material either because it's designed to be in Japanese.
What do you think is gonna happen for One Piece?
I
That's
mean,
gonna
the
be in
only
English, right?
reason, like, yeah, it'll be English. So the only reason I have somewhat a little bit of faith is because the author of One Piece is an executive producer on the show, and they pitched him the show personally, and he approved of it. Like he was involved in the making of the show. So that's why the only reason why I have like some hope for it. Whereas opposed to Avatar, he wasn't. Um, so recently they made the live action Cowboy Bebop. Like that original, um, the creator of the show like wasn't involved in the Netflix show.
What the
So
yeah, I mean wait, so they are doing a new live action Avatar though, right?
yes,
You said
it's
the
gonna come
the
out in the summer. The whole cast. So it's already gonna. So what happened was is that the original creators were involved and they ended up leaving the project for undisclosed reasons at the time. So people were like tight about it. But what we found out later on was that Nickelodeon offered them their own studio. So they actually have their own. It's called Avatar Studios now, and they're going to be making movies and TV shows. They actually announced a couple projects. Like they're going to be making a Zuko animated movie. It's not coming out till 2025 though, so we still have a while. But there'll be movies coming out in the future.
yeah, I mean I'm probably not gonna be checking that out. And I
I
know
mean, I won't.
apparently what's it called?
Well,
Like the show is amazing, but like watching this movie it definitely
oh yeah,
the
no, yeah. This is
like
like one of the best shows I've ever seen.
I can like see I can see the vision, you know, of like how it
Yeah,
could
like
be
the
good.
world building is very good, and like the like you could tell like the story like it's when done right is good.
I just feel like they tried to do too much. Like there's
It's
so many
so
like
because there's
I
so
feel
much.
like there's a bunch of missing scenes in between
Yeah, there's
parts
so
where
much shit that you
it's
don't
like
see
how do
in
we
the
get
movie
from this point to this point, and shit's just like unexplained,
because they have
you
to
know?
cram like basically a full season in 2 hours of content. You know,
Yeah, yeah. And the movie wasn't that long. I think it was like an hour
it
40,
was 2 hours.
maybe.
It was like 2 hours.
Was it? All right, yeah, but it's just I don't know. I feel like how did it get to this? Like, how did they not realize they were fucking up? You know?
Because they had, excuse me, because they had no input from the original creators. So they just gave M Night Shyamalan the keys and were just like, yeah, go like do what you want.
Have you ever seen? I think the Dragon Ball movie looks worse than this, though.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no, that the kid's like in high school and shit. That one looks way worse.
yeah.
It's like
Were
in
there like
modern day.
were there any moments where you're like, okay, this isn't actually that bad, or or like no?
Just no, like because first of all, the first introduction, one, everybody's white. Two, like they pronounce the names wrong, and like three, like the fire, like the whole like when the Fire Nation comes, like it's just I don't know.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, why did they say Ung or
I don't
Ong or
know.
whatever? And they said Avatar instead of Avatar.
Yeah, they just
Just
for
like
no
really
reason. It
weird.
just doesn't make any sense.
Because
And
like
then like in
it's not like it's off a book where like you have to assume how to pronounce it. Like
yeah,
there's a show where they pronounce it. You know?
and in the show, like when Zuko pulls up on them and like he's like, "Show me the Avatar," like you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like you know how the Avatar just immediately surrenders. Like in the beginning, like when in the show when they first capture him, like he's like fucking around with them in the beginning because he's like an Airbender, and no one is Airbenders have been dead for like hundreds of years. Like no one like knows like really what's going on. Like they're all like surprised. So he like messes with the guards and stuff. I mean, he eventually does go with them, but like you see more of like his like childlike banter. I feel like they make him so serious in this movie.
Yeah. I was confused about like one thing out. So when Aang gets captured, who is holding him? Is that the Fire Nation?
Yeah.
So why does Zuko break him
So
out?
Zuko breaks him out because he didn't capture him. Like he needs to capture the Avatar to get his honor back. Like he wants to get his honor back, so he wants to bring his dad the Avatar.
Oh,
So
I
like
see.
he
Yeah.
got caught by someone else, so Zuko breaks him out to try to capture him on his own. Like he wants to capture him on his own.
Yeah, yeah. And then Aang ends up like saving him.
So, yeah, so that
Right.
like you could tell like they're like laying the groundwork for like them eventually being friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But in the show they don't. I forgot what do they in the show is he's called the Blue Spirit with the mask on. But I
Yeah.
forgot if they say that in the
I think they
movie.
did. That sounds familiar. I think they did say that. Um, did you
But like
have
that fight scene was so bad.
I don't even want to ask you, but did you have a favorite character?
No,
Nothing?
no. There's no because all of them are like abominations to the source material.
I like Zuko if I had to choose one.
Zuko's like a fan favorite. He's probably like besides Aang. Now I keep saying it like that. Besides Aang, he's probably the most popular character. He's the first one getting a movie. So the
Yeah,
movie
no,
coming out is gonna be about like him. There's like you have to watch the show because like I can't like there's characters you haven't met. And I want you to watch it. That's why I don't want to tell you this stuff because it is
yeah.
good.
No, I like the idea of he's sort of like a disgraced son of like this evil empire, and he's
Yeah,
gonna like join the other side. You know, that's interesting. And I also think like
and just picture
I
his
like
dad
Dev
being
Patel,
like,
like I said. So
and picture his dad being like this like menacing like strong villain voiced by like Mark Hamill.
mhm.
So it's like sick.
Yeah, he's one of the best voice actors
Yeah. It's like one of his
ever.
like more underrated credits. Not a lot of people know he did that.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was in Avatar,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, my favorite scene though was probably just like the attack at the end. I guess when the Fire Nation pulls up on the Water Nation, like
Oh, in the so that happens the that all that happens where they kill the moon spirit and shit, and that all happens in the show.
yeah,
But basically, Aang, it's way cool. First of all, that dragon thing, that's not a thing in the.
oh, like when he goes to the spirit world or whatever.
Well, that is yeah, but like, there's no talking dragon. I don't know why they did that. So he taught in the spirit world, he can. This is like another thing they didn't even. I have to move. Sorry if I'm making noise, but it's another thing they don't even establish either. So in the spirit world, he can talk to the past avatars. Like he can talk to them and like learn knowledge from them or like gain experience. Like he can communicate with all the past avatars. But they don't show
Okay.
that at all in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of show like they show the past avatars in that scene where like the dude sells him out.
Yeah. But like he doesn't like it's just him he doesn't talk to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Where'd you move to? It's like really echoey.
mom's office.
Oh, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. Do you have a favorite scene or
And ended.
nothing? When it ended?
Yeah.
Are
There's
you
not
tight that
one.
I made you watch it or
No, I
like
wanted to. I mean, I did want to see this movie, regardless. I needed to.
so now you can understand the hate?
Yeah,
So yeah, what'd you give it?
a half a star.
Damn, damn,
I,
that's
I
foul.
guess that the only positive was that I guess the CG wasn't atrocious, but I didn't like the fight. Like I really can't name one thing I liked about the movie. There's not one shot that I thought was like an interesting shot or like I really did not enjoy anything in this movie.
Damn. That's pretty. I gave it a 1.5 star, so 3 out of 10. Like I've
But
seen half-star movies. This is not a half-star movie.
but if you've
It's
seen like the show and then you watch this, it's half star.
Yeah, I think just the thing I like the most, I like enjoyed how the fights and like the bending powers worked in the movie. I didn't think it was bad.
That was one of the like you have to watch the show because it's so much better in the show.
Yeah, I guess because I have nothing to compare it to, it's kind of
Yeah,
like, but yeah, that was like the first terrible movie that we talked about on here, honestly.
yeah,
Two like duds for this episode. It's pretty
yeah. Pretty
disappointing.
much. Yeah. I'm hoping I mean, next week will probably be better. We've Scream and we've Creed.
Yeah, and then whatever, you're gonna have to recommend something
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
But
mine isn't too critically acclaimed either.
Yeah, but also let's do the Q&A because we actually
Oh
have a
yeah,
decent amount of questions this week, surprisingly.
interesting.
Let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. So, at Frank Krupe 27 asks, where does Ant-Man Quantumania rank among the other MCU films? And I mentioned this before, but for me, it's
Mid to
bottom.
bottom tier. Yeah,
It's like it's the second worst movie in my opinion. And not because I think it's terrible, but because I think the MCU has been consistently good for so long that when you get like a dud of a movie, it basically shoots it down to the bottom right away.
I think. I mean, I think it's better than like I enjoyed it more than Captain Marvel.
I liked Captain Marvel more just because I like Nick Fury in that movie. Brie Larson as Captain Marvel herself wasn't my favorite, but yeah. And then the next question at degenerate.joe asks, which Kang variant is the sexiest in your guys' opinion? It's a tough one.
That'd be the Rom Todd.
I don't. I kind of like the Centurion one, like his bald head.
The
He's looking,
giant like silver body.
yeah, he's looking pretty hot
Yeah.
as a Kang, you know. But I guess we gotta see when more Kangs show up, or maybe the Kang variant that's within Creed 3.
Yeah.
He looks pretty jacked.
Oh, that's one thing actually I didn't even talk about. One positive about Ant-Man, I thought the suit looked fantastic. That was like one of the best suits I've seen in the MCU.
Yeah, I actually liked all the suits in that movie. I know people
No, I
didn't
didn't like
like.
the Ant-Man. I liked the Wasp suit. I didn't like the Ant-Man suit.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought the
it's a bit.
Wasp suit looked sick. It was more like the original. Like I like how she had the short hair like the comics.
Yeah,
But it's just like so like if you look at the original Ant-Man suit and this one, like
it's over designed,
it's yeah, like the old design is just so much.
and I don't like how they do like these. Everyone has nanotech suits now. It's
Yeah, I
like
don't
make
like that
give
either.
them a physical suit or at least a
Yeah.
physical helmet. Like it just
I
makes it
like that they have physical homes,
it
yeah.
makes it feel so much more like fake and like CGI because
Yeah.
especially like in Thor Love and Thunder you have Like, why does
Yeah,
Jane
there's no
Foster have a
excuse. Yeah,
nanotech
exactly.
helmet? Like, just give her a real helmet. Like, how does she have nanotech? It doesn't make any sense. But
No, hers is just supposed to be like it appears on her.
yeah, it's really weird. But
But whatever. Next
whatever.
question.
Yeah, next question. At Tom.Lieberman _ friend and guest of the podcast. If you were in Feige's shoes, how would you get the momentum of the Marvel franchise going? It's a good question.
It was
And
like, slow down the production of the movies.
yeah, the first thought is just give the movie some more time to breathe.
Yeah,
Allow the VFX workers more time post production. Get these scripts sorted out and perfected before you start filming.
yeah,
Which a lot of the times, because of how many projects they have going, like they start filming before the scripts are even finished. Which sometimes works out. Like, for example, Spider-Man No Way Home. They didn't finish the script when they started filming. Like, they had already filmed a
yeah.
bunch of it.
I don't like that. I never think that's a good idea.
And Tom Holland was like asking the director, like, yo, like, how does this movie end? And he was like, I don't know. We're gonna have to find out when they finish the script. Which is like, in that case, it ended up working out, but that's just
Like in
doomed for a
most cases, yeah,
disaster.
that's not. Yeah, that's not a reliable like business model.
But I would also like focus less on the unknown characters and like stuff that people don't want to see. Like, let me think of one. Like, for example, like the Echo show.
Yeah,
Like, why? Why are you making a show about Echo?
yeah,
It's just like if you're trying to progress the story, like it's pretty pointless. You already have the Daredevil show, which apparently has a lot of like the same characters in it. So why are you wasting time, resources, and
I forgot Daredevil's gonna be an Echo.
yeah, it's just like shit like that. Like fine tune your projects. Don't just make a project because you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
You know. Another one is maybe Agatha. Like I think that'll be fine, but like why is Agatha getting a show? You know.
I mean, that one honestly, out of all those, I feel like that's the one that like it's just gonna be like fucking. It's not gonna have any like scope or anything. Like it's just gonna be like kind of on its own.
Yeah. But
That's like one of the ones I want mine like the least. I actually really liked Agatha.
yeah, I'm just thinking of some example. I just feel like there are a couple like
No, you're definitely
unnecessary.
right. Like there definitely are some like the MCU fatigue is definitely starting to hit.
Yeah, like there has to, I want like big like well-known characters getting movies like Blade. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Like I can't be bothered by like seeing a show about Echo. Like I don't really care. I'm gonna watch it because it's the MCU, but like the casual people probably aren't.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they weren't this far into production with it already, they might have just shelved it.
No, they would no way.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, they've shelved shit before in Humans.
Yeah, but they like I don't know. It's different. This is like that. Sorry, that was on like that was on public TV. It's like private now. I don't know. It's different.
Yeah, I get it. Um, okay. But yeah, that's what I would do. So thanks for the question.
Yeah.
And then last question from there's actually two from Sophia.k.ua. She asks, first one, if you were living in the Avatar's world, which element would you like to be a bender of?
Um,
Um, I feel like fire. Like I don't know
no,
which one is.
no. Earthbending's pretty cool because in well, you don't see what it like eventually like uh they learn to like because it's like I don't know, how do I explain it? I don't know how specifically they do it, but they learn to like bend metal too. So like they could like start bending metal.
Wait, can
The
water benders like bend blood also?
Yeah, they can. There's like an episode about actually I think that's in the first season too. There's an episode where like Katara learns bloodbending.
Pretty
It's like
insane.
shot like a horror episode. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I
I
feel
hope
like
they do that in the live action. That's a cool episode.
maybe water actually, now that I think about it. Because water could take down fire. And they also could use ice too. They were able to like control ice, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Uh,
Fire's cool. They have like the if you're like really good, they have like the blue fire.
that's pretty sick.
Um Earth they have like the metal bender. You can also lava bend too if you're an earthbender.
That's cool.
Um, what else? I'm trying to think of, like, other stuff.
Yeah, I would go with water.
I'd probably do fire, honestly.
That's a good question. And then she has another question, which is, you can only choose 2 characters from The Last Airbender with you to go on an adventure. Who would it be? That's a good question. Um,
Aang and
I would not take Aang. He's too
oh,
annoying.
what, in this movie, or like I'm thinking
Well,
of the cartoon ones.
let's just say like from this movie
Oh
because
God, probably like fucking Appa and Momo because they don't talk.
I would
They just sit
take
there.
I would take Zuko, and then I would take that water princess for personal reasons that I will not get into. Um, yeah, I don't know. You
Oh,
don't
I
like
forgot to
any
tell. I was thinking about that now. I didn't tell you how the like season one ends in the show as opposed to. So yeah, there's no dragon like talking to him throughout the plot of the show. That's not a thing. Um, but like he goes into the app. They don't. So did they explain the Avatar state in the show or no?
in the movie? No, they
In
didn't.
the movie. So remember when he sees like all the dead bodies and starts like bugging out?
Yeah, yeah.
So they don't explain it, but he went into the Avatar state. So anytime like the Avatar's like under an extreme amount of stress, like you're like he just goes into this like God mode basically, and it kind of like protects him. But if he dies while he's in the Avatar state, like there's the Avatar doesn't get reincarnated. Like the cycle dies. Like that's
Oh,
it.
I see. And I'm sure there's probably been times in the show where he's like close to dying in there or something.
Yeah, like so in there's a sequel show called Korra where in one of the seasons like there's a society that like tries to kill, so they poison her like at the Avatar at the time, which brings out the Avatar state like to protect her, and then they like chain her up and they like try to kill her while she's in the Avatar state.
Damn. Pretty crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
just more lore stuff that they completely missed.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I guess yeah. But just to finish answering your question, um, what's the name of the princess?
Oh, I don't know. I just call it, like the Moon Princess.
Yeah, I would take the
I
Moon
forgot.
Princess, and I would take Zuko. So,
Yeah, taking Appa and Momo.
so yeah. Thanks for the questions. Those were pretty
Yeah,
creative and unique questions. Um, so yeah, that's really it for this episode. Joe, you want
yeah,
to recommend a movie for
yeah.
2 weeks from now? Go ahead.
So the movie I recommend came out in 1988, and it's actually on your watch list too. It's more of like a cult classic movie.
Okay.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space is the
Oh,
movie, which I
wow.
haven't
That
seen.
Yeah,
Well,
I've been putting off watching that for a while.
yeah,
So
but I feel like it's like right up our alley of like thing. Like this is like something we would enjoy.
yeah, and I think it's one that when it came out panned by critics and
It was like yeah, it
audiences,
was like
but then
horrible. Like, but like now I feel like it's more of like a cult classic type of
yeah, later gained a following, one of those type.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean I think it's a horror comedy, I guess, right? So
Yeah, it's like super like raunchy, that type of thing. They're actually making a game. I think it's coming out
yeah,
soon.
I saw that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a good pick. All right, yeah. So the next 2 weeks from now, episode 19, we'll talk about Creed 3, Scream 6, and
Killer Clowns.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
And
It's a
then
pretty good
maybe
lineup.
maybe 65 if we get
Yeah,
time.
if I'm able to see 65,
I'll
which
probably see
probably.
it. Actually,
Well,
yeah, this week's gonna be tough. I'm
also
going to Toronto.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be home when we record the next episode because it's my spring break.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
So maybe I'll see 65. But all right,
Wait, when's your spring break?
March. It's like that weekend. That
What,
that weekend
17th?
that weekend that Scream comes out is like when I'm home. When I first come home that weekend.
Oh, wow.
That's when like it starts. And then the following week is like the week I have off.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Follow us on
Football fans.
Instagram. Look at our
Letterbox.
letterbox if you have a chance.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really it. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
You guys.